Hi, Phil Schoenberg, Fastpitch Power. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about the pre-motion in windmill pitching. The pre-motion is that portion of the beginning of the movement toward where your pitch begins that gets you in a rhythm and a fluid action off of the pitching rubber. I liken it, and a good analogy is hitting. Very, very similar. I'm a foot up, foot down kind of guy when I'm getting ready to hit. I want to be able to hit consistently with power, being able to drive the ball to all fields, and in order for me to do that, I have to have a solid foundation. So, no matter what I do, this is what I like to do when I'm hitting. Foot up, foot down. As soon as that foot touches the ground, that's where my swing begins. That's where I have balance and a solid foundation to get to the ball and drive it with consistency. Some hitters will take a stride. Some hitters will just do heel up, heel down. Whatever it is, when both feet are solidly planted on the ground, that's where my swing begins. Same thing holds true for windmill pitching. Let me grab my glove here, go back to the pitching rubber. There are as many pre-motions as there are pitchers to imagine what a good pre-motion for them is. For example, some of my pitchers use a slide step. A lot of my pitchers use a slide step. Again, it is a rhythm, it is a triggering motion to get you fluidly and aggressively off the pitching rubber. Slide step looks something like this. I load all my weight into my drive foot, which for me as a right-hand pitcher is my right foot, and I push myself off the pitching rubber, and here is where my pitch begins. When my stride foot hits the ground, I have a solid foundation. Makes no difference what pitch you're throwing. Curveball, drop ball, rise ball, screwball, fastball or changeup. Makes no difference. From here, I am balanced. I have a solid foundation, which is both feet on the ground. I can fire that ball, and I can drive through with consistency. One thing that I strongly recommend to my pitchers in doing their pre-motion, you want to keep it simple. Again, it's simply a triggering mechanism to get you off the pitching rubber and into what we call that power K position. When your stride foot lands, you should look, and I'm just talking about a fastball now, there are some subtle variations for throwing a curve, a screw, a drop, a rise, but for the purposes of this particular tutorial, I'm talking about getting myself into a power K position and delivering the ball consistently with power. When my stride foot lands, that's when my pitch begins. Another very important aspect of that is, what position should my hand be in? If I complete the front side of my circle when my stride foot lands, my hand should be between 12 and 10 o'clock on a clock. I'll turn sideways. Between 12 and 10 o'clock on a clock. So I have the full backside of the arm circle to generate power through the throw zone. One thing I strongly recommend to my pitchers, and I'm going to demonstrate something here so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. Some pitchers you will see, and even pitchers at the highest level, you'll see them doing a tremendous backswing when they go into their pre-motion. What I mean by that is they'll load on the pitching rubber, they'll swing back, they'll come forward, and they'll fire and drive. Some of them do it very successfully. But I'm going to ask you, go along with me here. I'm going to count, you can count to yourself, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you let me know from the time that I start coming off the pitching rubber, how long, or the time I go into my pre-motion, how many counts, how many digits you can count seeing the ball. Okay? So here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 to 5, I would say, counting in a rhythm, counting continuously, like I would be doing 1 1,000, 2 1,000. Now tell me how long you can see the ball. 1. So, as a pitcher, who do you think is going to have the advantage? A batter is standing there, being able to count 1, 2, 3, 4, seeing the ball the whole time in the pitcher's hand, or once you present the ball, you're okay, you go into your glove, and you load, and you come up the front side of the circle, and the first time that batter sees the ball is when it's coming down the back side of the circle. Not much time to pick it up. I love that simple pre-motion for my pitchers, and the vast majority of them use it very, very successfully. Not everybody is going to be able to blow 65, 66, 67, 68 mile an hour fastballs and movement pitches by hitters. When you can't, you need every advantage you could possibly get. So a pre-motion is very personal. It's what gets you relaxed. It's what gets you loose. It's what gets you off the pitching rubber in a good rhythm. But there are certain pre-motions that will work better and give you an advantage, such as the one that I just discussed with you. Also very important to remember that your pitch begins when your solid foundation is established. That happens when your stride foot lands, both feet are on the ground, you're in a vertically stacked, balanced position. Then you can deliver the ball with consistent power and command every time you're out in that 8-foot circle. Love to hear your comments. Let me know what you do and what your experience is, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Great talking to you. See you next time.